Actually, I was pretty happy to see how many people are over here this morning. So so it's building pretty good. I think it's pretty nice.
For more than 115 years, the Grand Floral Parade has made its mark right here in the Rose City, decorating floats with color-popping flowers while marching the street with live music to kick off the summer season here in the Pacific Northwest. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Joe Ranieri. It's the biggest parade of the Rose Festival. The Grand Floral Parade made its return to Northeast Portland this morning. Our Daisy Caballero was there to check it out.
Well, it's that time of the year again where the sun is beaming and the people of Portland came out to watch the Grand Floral Parade take over the city of Portland.
Very excited, very excited. Yeah. Can't wait to see the bands, everything.
The historic Grand Floral Parade is back for year 2 after the pandemic.
Hey, I started!
Attracting hundreds of people to Portland's East Side streets.
I'm just looking forward to seeing all the beautiful roses.
The marching bands. The floats and the flowers.
The candy.
Horses.
Others are just happy to take it all in with the sunny and dry weather.
It's the first time we've made it over, and we're just looking forward to to having a good time seeing the parade on a beautiful morning.
The route kicked off at the Memorial Coliseum and ended at the Lloyd Center. It, of course, caused road closures, but families still managed to get themselves a front row seat to the show.
I'm really excited for him to see the parade. He's been talking about it all week.
The Anaya family says this was their first Rose City parade as a family after missing last week's Starlight Parade because of traffic. And like many, this is the unofficial start to summer.
This feels so great, and it's so good to see all the families and kids out here and everything. And my friends, I'm really excited about it.
If you missed the parade in person, we have a recorded live stream you can watch at KGW.com. Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
And this year's Grand Marshal of the parade, Rosie the Riveter. Actual World War II Rosie the Riveters are in Portland for a convention. The Riveters were women who worked in factories, shipyards, and elsewhere in defense production during the Second World War. They got together before the parade to reminisce and compare war stories.
It was hard times. We had rationing on food, clothes, shoes, everything, gas. So, but it was something that, we knew that we were helping the boys. The boys needed food more than we did.
The Rosies were showcased on their own float, sponsored by Boeing, and they were joined by some modern art as well for the event out there this weekend. But a great event, and as anybody who's been in the Pacific Northwest, or really the Portland area for the last 20-some years, the Rose Festival Parade, it's hit or miss when it comes to the weather. It's either going to be cold and wet or kind of what you saw earlier today, and it was very comfortable out there. So a little bit of some clouds to start things off, but by the later part of the parade, those clouds lifted. You saw a lot of sunshine out there, and that's what we're seeing throughout much of the area this afternoon and early part of the evening as well. As we go out to Lincoln City, we're looking at a temperature of 64 degrees, clear skies along the Central Oregon coast. This is from our Chinook Winds Beach camera out there in Lincoln City. As we look at some other locations right now, the low 70s throughout parts of the metro area. A little bit cooler over in Happy Valley and Boring with a temperature of 68 degrees. And along the east side of the state, temperatures are in the mid 70s. Bend, you're looking at 81 degrees at this hour, and along the Oregon coast, temperatures are in the low 60s. So on average, we should be seeing highs right around the low 70s for early part of June, and that's exactly what we're at right now. 74 in Aurora, and along the Oregon coast, temperatures were in the mid to the upper 60s earlier this afternoon, and we'll slowly warm back up heading into tomorrow with highs jumping into low to mid 80s for your daytime highs for Sunday afternoon. Even warmer on Monday. I'm forecasting highs close to 90 degrees. Much of next week, though, will be very comfortable. We're not going to be seeing a long stretch with temperatures at 90 or above or anything like that. We'll talk more about that in your detailed forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Well, Ted Kaczynski, also known as the Unabomber, was found dead in his prison cell today. He was 81 years old. Kaczynski was convicted for a series of bombings targeting scientists. Now, those bombings started in the late 70s and lasted into the mid 90s before he was arrested. Dana Griffin reports.
The man known as the Unabomber died while serving 4 consecutive life sentences, decades after his reign of terror gripped the nation. Ted Kaczynski, the one-time mathematics prodigy, became infamous for eluding authorities. The only clue to his identity? This sketch, made after a witness saw him planting a bomb. Kaczynski played a deadly cat-and-mouse game with the FBI in a nationwide bombing campaign that stretched 17 years, becoming one of the Bureau's longest and most expensive investigations ever.
The FBI, the other agencies involved, are working on this with as much diligence as I've ever seen in an investigation.
His first homemade bomb detonated in 1978 at Northwestern University, injuring a security guard. The FBI would dub him a twisted genius for mailing or hand-delivering 15 more bombs over the years. His devices killed 3 and injured nearly 24 more, all while puzzling investigators for leaving behind no traceable evidence. In 1995, the Unabomber Task Force asked newspapers to publish a manifesto Kaczynski mailed them, hoping it would generate new leads. It did, when David Kaczynski recognized the thinking of his brother and reported him to the FBI.
It wouldn't have been right to allow him to hurt anyone else. He had to be stopped in some way, and that was the only way I could think to stop him.
On April 3, 1996, investigators arrested Kaczynski at his tiny cabin near Lincoln, Montana. There, they found journals detailing his crimes, just $32.80 to his name, and something else.
Federal agents have turned up a live bomb at the home of the man the government believes is the Unabomber.
Kaczynski's campaign of fear finally over.
Yes, sir, you're the Unabomber.
Are you the Unabomber? Ultimately, in 1998, he said he was, pleading guilty and spending the rest of his life in prison.
Back here in Portland, 1 person is dead and 2 others are hurt after a triple shooting overnight in downtown Portland. This happened just before 2 a.m. Police say someone shot the 3 people along Southwest 3rd and Harvey Milk Street. 1 person died and another person's injuries are life-threatening. The 3rd victim is expected to survive. None of the names of the victims have been released, and Portland police have not released any information about a suspect. After announcing the Mount Hood Medical Birth Center would reopen next week, Legacy has pushed the date back. That's because it says it didn't get the proper approval from state health authorities. You may remember Legacy closed the center in Gresham back in March without that approval. At the time, it blamed low staffing and use of the center. There's no exact reopening date, but Legacy says it expects it will take at least another week. And roughly 1,800 nurses have warned Providence they plan to strike for 5 days starting June 19th. That's a week from Monday. They are from Providence, Portland, Providence Seaside, and Providence Home Health and Hospice. They say they're concerned about eroding patient care, unsafe staffing levels, and inadequate wage and benefit packages. Providence says some services will be limited or halted during the strike, though critical care will continue. It adds it won't return to negotiations until the 5-day strike is over.